phenomenal opportunity for me to find a team that is a middle to high end shelf team and try to find a victory. But it's Hoxer who just sort of bounces this one in. Honestly, just defense sleeping.
Yeah, there tends to be a couple of things you could look at with Extra. Their fundamentals were sound, and you can make mistakes as long as your fundamentals in Rocket League are good enough to get you through games. And something that XSET have been doing phenomenally. Again, Hoxer just understanding the free space he has around and the takeaway from Knight. These are things that you need to stop XSET from doing.
Listen, that first goal was just kind of an okie doke. The second one, earned and burned. Hoxer takes it to the bank and goes off the ceiling. You love to see it. So now with a 2-goal lead, 3 minutes left in the contest. XSET, as I said, it's kind of their duty to do this, but they haven't been going for it, and that's what I want to see more of. Tito, all the way from Knight on the other side. This is a good-looking play. Knight decides to drop it down, and if I may, I might challenge that idea that it says more about XSET. I think Tito actually opening things up, and Knight with a phenomenal angle ties the game up with 18 to go.
That is the most ridiculous double tap you will see in the history of a bubble. Back to midfield we go, and it's basically no one's ball.
Could be a good setup for XSET. Hoxer comes out of the corner, passes it to Alpha Cap, and takes the game. Beautiful setup play. Hoxer saw that from 0 to 100, and Alpha Cap just clocks it and clocks out. That's the job, boys. Game 1 for XSET.
Everyone's just unsure of how to play these touches, and it's not looking good.
Hoxer almost had a nice sequence past the defense, but instead it turns around. Tito takes one and leaves it, and again, off of the assist from Knight.
That's one of those turns that Tito just... A lot of boost at the midfield for Tito and Knight. Knight, who's basically been running point on the ball when it comes to counterattacks, and then you work from the ceiling. There it is again. There's the shot. There's the 2-0 lead with 60 seconds on the clock. I mean, you talk about as perfect and as picturesque as you want. Knight calls it, Tito responds, and they get the goal.
And goals is too many. And XSET look like they're about to lose game number 2 to .exe.
Oh, well, this kill surely. Doggy bag goal? Nah, not gonna happen. EXE
coming out from XSET completely ruins that opportunity for .exe. And a shot down, helped out, the own goal. Credit to Hoxer as XSET starts this one off with a bang.
Yeah, if I was XSET's coach in these comms, I'd be saying, all right, let's get physical now. Let's start going for some bumps.
Could be the last push of game number 2 here. And with that one, that will put an exclamation point on game 2 for XSET.
Yeah, this kind of swatting the ball away defense works really well when you have a lead and there's like 60 seconds left in the game. It doesn't work any of that in this one. You could tell, I don't know if it was nerves or just we weren't able to execute our game plan, but the very quick release ball, go for
there is more indicative of the second XSET win is really what you have to focus on beating. You can't focus on beating that first win, as Alpha Cap gets just a toe tap.
I mean, we've seen this gradual decline in the defense so far in the series, and even then, fighting for possession on the ceiling, that's a very, very routine play that if XSET have free range, they're going to punch that ball down for a center, and you better believe that with 6 seasons, or actually 10 seasons into Rocket League now, people know, hey, if you're on the ceiling, look for a center down again. Hoxer puts in another one. Oh, God, XSET are starting to warm up a little bit.
Yep, Alpha Cap makes it past 1 and sets up Hoxer for a play they have made hundreds of times. The rebound off the right side backboard. And so before the 4-minute mark, 2 goals in the XSET column. Monster with a flip, trying to push it home. Gets it done and looks pretty well doing it.
Oh, respectfully. Absolutely zero need to be that dirty on the play. Point and just see if we can get creative, because you're down a goal. You're in game 4. You're already 0-3 in the groups. Try something else, dude. It might come through defense because J-Pow just kind of triple tapped this, and this is not okay. Like, yeah. Yeah, that's what I get from rambling.
More choices, right? Like, maybe that's the idea. Just play the game.
Yeah,
Open
don't
net,
force yourself
though.
to stick to this style.
Open net, though.
God,
Open net,
yeah.
though. Open net, though.
I mean, if you're EXE, and this is just for going forward, because at this moment you're down 4-1, there's a minute 50. We know Coliseum's a tricky map, sure, but for at least going forward.
Nah, don't give me that. Don't give me
listen,
that.
I'm just saying, for the future, for this roster, if you get in a situation where clearly the passing isn't working and clearly the counterattacks aren't working down the field, the defense hasn't been great, J-Pow, nice dunk, who cares? Don't force yourself to stay in the team mold. Like, it's okay to get a little creative and a little wacky. Like, just, both, have fun, duh, but also don't force yourself to play,
But I think being a great Rocket League team is finding the balance of how much of your own identity you need to preserve and push and play with versus how much of your opponent's game you have to sideboard against. And that, I think, is that's the entire equation. So if you get too far away from what you do
for you yet, until you consistently have trial and error at the top level. So I think that's where I'm coming from, is saying, okay, clearly they're not a BDS. So the best way to figure out what works for this team is when you get in moments where the teamwork and this textbook, we're going to do this, and if we can't execute the game plan, we'll try harder to execute the game plan. If that's not working, do not be afraid to change it up, because you never know if that will be the keystone to figuring out what your personality is. So that's kind of where I'm doing that.
Well, nobody's going to Brazil, so no bom dia. Sorry, folks. Hoxer gets the 7th goal, and I'm proud of EXE for putting up a 2nd one there.
Absolutely.
They're not going to get Braziled here. I'm here for it.
Was this the best showing from EXE? No, but there is always something to learn in losses like this and in the series, and there's a lot that both as commentators and as competitors you can learn just by watching what to do, what not to do, and how they approach this series. And even though XSET walked away with the 3-0 win in a series that they most likely should have been favored,